Hello viewers, you are welcome to Child and Society. Again, we're going to be presenting hot topics on issues concerning our society, our children, and ourselves. As you know, Child and Society talks about issues that concern the society and also celebrates people who are also doing well in the society. Today's program will be looking at baby factories in Nigeria and child trafficking. Baby factories, as you know, are factories where girls are hijacked from their homes, from school, from streets, and are forced to live in a cohort where one or two individuals pregnate them to make babies for them. And these babies are sold before even the babies are born. That's what we're going to be talking about today. And then we're going to also look at issues around adoption process in Nigeria, whether there are adoption processes, whether there are systems in place to checkmate what is happening to our young girls, and how our society in general is becoming. With me today are Grace.
Hello, how are you?
Simisola Dabiri.
So today we're going to start by talking about what do we understand by baby factory, what do we understand by child trafficking, how does it impact on our society, how does it impact on our children, how does it impact on our capacity as a nation, and what image does that give to Nigeria and Nigerian children? Hello.
Yeah, if we look at it, we need to start with the causes of it. What are the causes of baby factory? What are the causes of child trafficking? We need to be aware of the demand and the supply. Where there are demand, there are supplies. We need to look at the demand placed on women who can't bear children. And we also need to look at the economic aspect of things in terms where these mothers have got children and then they give their children away to meet up their economic needs. And they don't even find out what happens to these children after. And then it's not only in Africa or in Nigeria we have these demands for babies, and we have these demands for young children. So the most important thing is for us now is to identify what are the causes of it and how do we in this process see what are we going to do to meet all those before we look into the wider complications and the impact of it.
Indeed, isn't it?
It's actually the third biggest crime in Nigeria. You know, so therefore it is profitable. So, you know, it becomes a chicken and egg situation where, you know, what's the reason, or, you know, why is it happening? At the end of the day, it's profitable, and for the people who are trafficking children, but also it's actually profitable to the people who are selling their children. It's about getting to the bottom of that. You know, do we actually make sure that the parents are able to care for their children, so therefore it won't make it financially worthwhile for the traffickers, or do we actually tackle the traffickers themselves and re-educate them in regards to what happens to these children when they move on from the traffickers?
What wouldn't you be thinking that maybe our society has changed over the years? I mean, we know historically that I mean, people sold their children when they were poor in those days. I mean, the days of slavery, many things happened. There were many rationales people had that led to them selling their children. But come out of it, I mean, slave trading has been abolished so many years ago. Why are people still in need to sell their babies, to sell their children? Even why is it that our young boys who have gone through educational system are having to go back to thinking about abducting young girls, keeping them in a house and raping them, as it were, against their wishes, and making babies and selling these babies and giving them a tuppence?
As I said, I mean, there is a demand, there is a need. You know, we need to look at why are children being kept in a home and then producing baby factories. What is the demand for it? I mean, as I said, there's childlessness, and then there are other activities, immoral activities happening, and which we don't actually know the full intentions and the full needs of these activities. If we begin to look into it as enforcing, we will be driving them underground. It's for us to actually look at these people, identify these people, and find out why. You know, why are they using these children? What is the main purpose of it? Definitely the supply for them is that we want these children, we want these babies. We go to the rural areas and then we take them, kidnap them, or we even buy them. I mean, you have people that buy them and sell them into immoral activities. So those are the areas in which we would be able to, if we identify and address those issues, then in the sense of educating, being aware of what they are doing is illegal, is moral, then we, as legislators, then we will be able to address it without actually putting blames on these poor these poor families who don't even know what goes on after these children has been taken from them.
I actually think that if the traffickers actually knew the outcome of the child, because all they see is the baby, the money
and the profit.
That's as far as they go. They don't go down the line of what happens to those babies. Looks like we have a caller.
I think we've got a caller on the line. Callers, yes, you just join us as we talk about these issues. As you were talking about the impact, the effect, if they abduct, if these young people, both the mothers themselves and the people who force them into slavery, as it were, to make babies for them, to make money, if they knew the outcome, what happens to these babies that they actually sell? Yes, we're going to take a call here now. Yes, caller, can you join in? How are you? Hello, what's your name, sir?
My name is Mr. Tamahola.
Hello, how are you? You are welcome to Child and Society.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I just want to make your conclusion about government. In Nigeria, there's a country that there are other criminals from down level to up and abandoned society.
Can you turn your television set down a little bit?
Can you hear me now?
Much better.
I said that in the country called Nigeria is a love country, nice people. But the people they call themselves a leader, both from local government of criminal. Nigeria, welcome criminal, accommodate criminal. They can fight for their side. Why? Unbelievable. We have the president a corruption into the old regime. Where are we from? Where we went to?
Thank you. I think I know where you're coming from a little bit. Obviously, in a country where things are going bad, corruption is too high, people are lackadaisical about issues, human beings are not cared for properly, young people go to school, they come out, they have no job. Obviously, they will start looking for a way to help themselves. I mean, it's like a few years ago, it was more on kidnapping the rich, kidnapping young men and women for ransom of money. Now, I think that is less. It's now gone into kidnapping young girls to force them against their wishes and feelings, and making them to make babies, because it's easier for them to sell these babies for as much as £1,000, £2,000, as much as $5,000. That is what they are selling these things. So in a country, like you are saying, a chaotic country, which our country, I'm afraid, has become over the years, we from Child and Society and many other organizations are talking about a need to come back to our senses. Nigeria is like a child who has gone astray, and we, including yourself and many other organizations, are going to help Nigeria to come back to its senses, where we will train people to follow a certain values, and we will expect that those people will live in accordance with their values that they've been inculcated into. And this comes in terms of educational policies, social policies, and a lot of other policies.
The UN Convention also
of human rights
1991 actually covers that, and the UN Convention actually, we signed up as in the country in Nigeria to the UN Convention against trafficking.
Yes. But as a sick child, as we are as Nigeria, from the head to toe, people are not following rules of law. Definitely. There is no rule of law. The schools, for example, polytechnics have been out of school for 6 months. In which country would that be allowed to happen? These young boys are supposed to feed. The girls are supposed to feed. Their parents have paid for their education. There's a lot of ill things going on, but the political class are busy collecting, as it were, monies and neglecting the people that elected them, and neglecting the need to make proper policies that will meet the needs of the people. What we are talking about, this discussion is looking at why is it that young people have turned to selling themselves?
I mean, like if you look at what is happening now, the Boko Haram, I mean, they publicly said they were going to sell the girls.
Definitely, yeah.
I mean, that's a form of trafficking. They said they are going to sell the girls. And what happened to these girls if they are being sold? What happens to their families? Obviously, they would be very, very traumatized. The girls as well will be very, very traumatized. They've been sold into maybe foreign countries. They've been sold into foreign families. They've been detached. Yeah. And how will such girls even function? And even if they have babies, there wouldn't be any form of attachment, any form of love, any form of anything in which you will call like, oh, they have been brought up as a good mothers. Yeah, so it's going to be like we are already creating a damaged society.
Yes, very much so. You're right.
And at the end of the day, if we don't have young people who can parent properly because of the experiences they've had, they're going to go on to produce another set of young people who also won't be able to parent. Definitely. And these young people, young people, when they are trafficked into other countries, they're actually trafficked, you know, from babies upwards. They're trafficked to help with like benefit fraud. They help like home help.
Yes.
Prostitution.
Yes.
And you know, care for people who are elderly and sick. They are trafficked in for those things. So they're trafficked into servitude. They are sold as a commodity. And that's the part that we need to get home to the young people who are actually impregnating girls, and also the poor girls who are actually ending up like that.
And then sometimes
viewers, as you know, we're still debating on this. We want you to call in and contribute your own quota. We're looking at how can our society be a better society so that our children are not sold into slave trade, so that when children are born, they were born to their parents. And if a child is to be adopted, then they need to be, the adopters need to go through a process of assessment, like is done in United Kingdom, in other countries in America and Europe. I mean, having said that, we are not saying that Nigeria is the only country where these ills are taking place, even in Eastern European. Yes, I think I'm getting a caller here. Yes, caller, can I? Yes, what's your name, caller? Yes, caller. Okay, the caller is not there yet.
There are other countries like Thailand and Vietnam, and some Eastern European countries where young people are actually sold into servitude as well. But for us, it's a new phenomenon. But we need to also understand that Nigeria actually is becoming the cross-border for trafficking.
I mean, yes, caller, yes. Yes, caller, hi, how are you? You're welcome to Child and Society.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning, sir. Fine, thank you, sir.
I'm so much happy that you are doing this program at this moment of the year.
Thank you.
And many of us know what we need to do in the 24th century.
Thank you.
I watched the edition it was the first edition one Saturday.
Thank you.
But I was unable to get through.
Thank you, sir. You're welcome.
You are a good moderation.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I join you to the someone was talking about the Northerners, that they are not educated, that their women are not educated.
Yes, I remember.
Yes.
And I am so much happy about the way you responded.
Thank you, sir. Last week.
I don't think they are born. And there's so many things that doesn't do with people.
Yes. Yes,
I
sir.
don't think from the Lord.
Yes. Can you put your TV set down a little bit?
Oh my God. I wonder, is all the horror is someone?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yes, I can hear you much better now. Yes, I remember that program we did when, yes, obviously in this program, we cannot condone anybody being prejudiced or, you know, being, yeah, we cannot condone it. We are here to present a fair program for people to listen to. We are looking at the betterment of our society, Nigeria, and our society in United Kingdom as well. We want to project Nigeria first. We want Nigerians to be proud, as we are proud. You can see my attire here, fully fledged Nigerian. Yeah, thank you. We've got another caller on the line. Thank you, sir.
Madam, I'm still the same person.
Okay, go on, sir. So you cut off.
Can you hear me clearly now?
Okay, I can hear you clearly now. Yes.
All right. You see, the reply you get for the caller about saying the northerners or the women in the north are not being enfranchised.
Yes.
They are very educated and they are ready to help their children to get educated.
Yes.
That was what really prompted me to call today.
Oh.
I'm so much happy the way you anchor this program, and I don't want you, for people calling in, to be trying as much as possible to rubbish your program.
Thank you, sir.
I am happy the way and manner you anchor this program.
Thank you.
Today, let's talk about the way and manner Nigerian or African trying to do what we call the second slavery of their children.
That's right.
In my own generation, my own family, my father will never condone that. But I don't know about his own father, or maybe my grandfather I'm talking of. But what we're talking about, selling our children to be an house help or to sell food.
Yeah.
In the food area is an eyesore.
It is.
It must stop. Some family do encourage it. I read in the newspaper about the way people in the east, people in the north, even across the board, don't sell their children to some rich family.
Yes.
Some will be coming over here saying that they wanted to educate their children. They will not know about the children or the child to the person. And they will call them down here. And what he or she will do with them?
Yes, sir.
To serve their own children.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. We are very grateful. We've got another caller on the line who is waiting, and we are mindful of time, sir. I really appreciate that you called in, and we share exactly what you are talking about. The issue is that we have a country, Nigeria, and we need our government policymakers to take on board the fact that Nigerians have come to the level in their life, in this time and era, to begin to sell their children. It's like committing second term slavery. And we must say no to it. And because we have policymakers, we must be shouting, all of us together, that the government need to begin to, from local government level, to begin to find out what are the needs of its people. If a mom or woman or a girl who is supposed to be married into a home suddenly begins to allow herself to be clouded in her judgment, to allow herself to live in a cohort where she is raped morning, afternoon, night, and fed once in a day in order to have a baby to sell, and then she's given a tuppence. We must say no to it. Nigerian government need to be listening to this program, because it's not, we are not happy at all. The local government chairmen they have a duty to the people to begin to look at how can they help these mothers, how can they help children in secondary school, how can you prevent the young people from allowing themselves.
I think also it is our responsibility. We all have that responsibility to be able to educate each other.
Definitely.
We have relatives in rural areas. With modern technology, with mobile phone, we should endeavor to phone our loved ones to say, where is your child? And if the child has been moved abroad or been sent abroad, then we need to find out, where has this child gone? And then let the mother know, have you spoken to your child? Do you know where it is? So that there will continue to be that sort of communication. And from communication, then the mother will know, if this child hasn't spoken to her for a long time, then we will find out what's been happening, and that's how we will be able to check on each other and re-educate.
Just to say very quickly, though, Nigeria as a country have decided that we are a part of a number of organisations, and we have created a number of policies. The biggest problem, like you're saying, in the rural areas and in other areas, we're not following those policies. We've signed up to all these international things, but we're not following down to the wire. We need to do that.
Okay, viewers, as you know, we are coming to the end of this program right now. We'd like to thank you, obviously, for ringing in, and we'd like to thank you for tuning in. We ask you to tune in each Saturday. However, this is going to be our last program for this quarter. We'll be going to Nigeria next week, where we're going to be doing some filming in Nigeria, and we're going to be in Nigeria till end of June. So we come live again in June on the 22nd, I think, second week, 22nd of June. We'll be coming live again. As you know, today's program was a hot program. We've not even started, because we're going to go over and over on this program until our government begin to realize that it's not normal behavior for a mother or for a young girl to allow herself to be pregnated and for her baby to be sold. Which baby is her husband going to have then, if she's sold these babies without having full consultation? I mean, you got to be hungry to be selling your babies. You got to be somehow unwell to be selling your babies. You must have a kind of ill rationale to be able to be selling your babies. So what we are saying, really, government, please help our people, help our girls, help our boys. The boys who are arranging these girls, they don't have a job. They need to be working. They need to be working. Nigeria is rich enough. Yes, can I guess? Nigeria is rich enough to be able to support its people. Thank you again. What I want to say lastly is that when we are in Nigeria next week, we'll be doing charity work, with FISWA and Child Voice. We'll be working in schools next week, giving out friendship bands to children, which tells them how to protect themselves. That's what we're doing in Edo State and Delta State and Abuja, Kwarimpa area and Metama. Thank you very much, viewers. We will see you in June when we come back, and then we will showcase to you our work in Nigeria, helping to reduce child abuse in Nigeria, making children of Nigeria aware of how to protect themselves. Thank you.